without vision, you end up not knowing like the direction you actually want to go, like the person that you want to be, what you want to actually be able to accomplish. So many times people are looking for how they're going to continue to grow, how they're going to continue to develop. Part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this some today is because we just got done with our Thriver fact map process, where we actually go through scripting out exactly where they are and where they want to go. The problem is a lot of times people don't know where they actually want to go. Like they know I want to get better, I want to look better, I want to have all these things happen in my life, but what does it actually look like on a day-to-day basis of actually arriving at the place where they're saying like, hey, this is actually who I am. This is actually how I want to be able to present. This is actually what I want for my life. Now, a lot of times people struggle with actually scripting out their goals, scripting out like the plans that they have, scripting out the development that they have in the direction that they're going. So it's one of the things that I would kind of pop out is like, what do you actually think of on a day-to-day basis? We're like 6 months through this year of actually planning out your goals, planning out the things that are happening. Do you even have a plan for that? Like, is that something that you actually even look at? We take it very seriously. Like, we're looking at where you actually are now and where you actually want to go. And with the community that we have inside of the Thriver community, we focus heavily on the facts. The facts of the situation are you're here and you want to be able to go there. Now, how are we actually going to get you there? One step at a time. Like when we talk about this aspect of narcissistic abuse and learning from it and dealing with it and moving past it, there is a huge piece that people normally don't script it out. Normally don't have a plan. They're just like, well, I just want to get better. Well, how are we actually going to get better? How are we actually going to work on that? If you don't have a place and a version of you that you're trying to develop and get to, where are you going? So many times people want to get the healing and they want to get it fast and quick and fresh and easy as fast as they can have it, but they don't actually have a plan of the direction that they want to go. So my question for you today is, do you actually have a direction? Do you have a vision of who you actually want to be, of the person that you actually want to develop? When you've been with a toxic person, when you've been with a narcissist, a lot of times you lose your sense of self, you lose your sense of identity, and you're not sure how do you actually move forward. How do you actually grow and develop into the version, the person that you actually want to be? I talk a lot of times of helping people move from the place where they currently are. A lot of times anxiety, stress, depression, a lot of things where they don't have a clue of where they are to becoming the person that they actually want to be. The problem is the majority of people don't even have goals. The majority of people, if you started talking to people, like, do you even have goals? Well, I set a New Year's resolution. Well, yeah, but have you even thought about that since? Nope, and I haven't ever actually done it. Majority of people don't even set goals. A lot of times they haven't even set goals, and then they haven't even written down the goals. Like they haven't even put them on paper. It's like, well, I had this idea. I had this great idea. I knew I was going to go this direction, but they haven't even written them down. So a lot of people don't have goals. A lot of people don't have goals and don't even have them written down. Or the people that have goals haven't even written them down. Then the third aspect is a lot of times people haven't even spoken the goals. They haven't even told anybody else about them. Like no one has a clue that you even have this goal of how you want to excel in your business, of how you want to grow in your body, of how you want to be able to develop a relationship, all these different aspects. Like no one even knows what you're even wanting to work on. And then the fourth aspect is typically it's never even tracked. So we try to combine all of the aspects together and say, hey, we're actually going to focus on you, not just knowing your goals, not just writing them down, not just telling them to other people on a weekly basis, holding them accountable, but then also tracking them. How are we actually moving the needle on a daily basis to get to the person that you want to become? Like that is one of the hardest pieces is people don't get to the place where they actually script it out, where they actually write it down. Several people are saying on Instagram, like, hey, I need a plan. Like, I don't have a plan. Like having a plan, goals actually matter. They do. But being able to actually script them out is a whole nother deal. One thing we do inside of the Thriver community is like every month we spend 4 hours on a Saturday scripting out the following month, scripting out the direction that we're actually going. Like a lot of this stuff isn't even narcissistic because they've healed, they've moved through the trauma bond, we've broken them free from that, they've moved forward. Now we're like, how do we actually maximize your life in multiple aspects? How do we help grow your business? How do we help strengthen your physical body? How do we help you cultivate good, healthy relationships? And how do we help you connect to yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Then we script it out. Like you're going to work on this. This is going to develop. What's going to be true when this accomplishes? We deal with a lot of the facts. Because until you start writing down your goals, making sure you're actually reviewing them, tracking them, you're not going to get to the direction you want to go. Just having a direction, just having an idea, just having this idea like maybe this would be a good idea, maybe this will work, this is who I actually want to become, isn't good enough. You need to actually put action behind it. You need to actually put something scripted out where you can say, this is how I'm going to be able to move forward. How many of you right now know that you have goals? Type in goals. You're like, hey, I have a goal. I know I have a goal. Type in goals. Do you have a goal? When you're watching this right now, do you actually have goals? Period. Just goals in general. A lot of you might be like, yes, I have goals. Okay? Out of those goals, how many of those are actually written down? How many of those goals are actually written down and in a place that you can actually see on a day-to-day basis? How many of those are written down where you can see them on a day-to-day basis or you can review them on a day-to-day basis? How many of those goals have you communicated to other people? You see, a lot of us will develop these goals, but then we won't actually do anything with them. We won't actually script them out. One of the things I have is I have goals for the entire year. And I sit down and I record pretty much every month. I record my goals for the entire year and then my goals for the month. I record it. I do an audio. And then every single morning I wake up and I listen to the audio of like, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm developing. This is who I'm becoming. This is how I'm going to continue to develop that way. And it hones me in on like, I am going this direction. I am going this way. Like that is the biggest piece that's actually moving forward is me determining, hey, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going. And so like you have to be able to understand and to be able to see, like you have to have goals. They have to be there. You have to set them. You have to actually script them out. You have to be able to move them forward because it's important to understand you're moving from here to a direction. But until you actually script them out, write them down, communicate them, and track them, you're not going to actually attain them. We talk in society way too much about having these great goals, having these great things. And a lot of times people focus so much on the goals, so much on the direction, they forget to focus on where they actually are. They forget to focus on the here and now of, wait a second, where are we first to be able to start scripting out where we want to go? We spend a lot of time figuring out where you actually are first, the facts of the situation, of your body being balanced in business. That's how we break it down. We focus on the facts first. And then we start focusing on where you want to go, where you're going to be in 3 months, where you're going to be in a year. And then start scripting out the steps to be able to go in that direction. The problem is a lot of times we don't actually hone these in to be able to move to the right place. We focus on the compound effect. Like where you move today is going to help you move through the week, is going to help you move to the month, is going to help you move to the year. But getting to this place of understanding, you have to be able to start setting goals. If you're at the place where you're like, I don't have goals, I don't know how to set goals, I want to set goals, I want to be able to work on this, or you're coming from the place of narcissistic abuse, reach out for help. Because we help people in two different aspects. We first off help people in a healing journey, breaking them out of the rumination, the trauma bond, the intrusive thoughts. Like that's the whole goal. Let me get you free from that. The mental process that keeps you stuck or going back to the toxic person time and time again. Then the second thing after the healing journey part is focusing on the growth mindset. How are we actually maximizing the direction that you're going? How are we actually maximizing who you're actually called to be? How do we hone that in? How do we start using that compound effect so that it actually matches up every single day is moving you closer to your goal? If you're at that place and you want help, reach out. Send me a message, shoot me a message on Instagram, TikTok, shoot me an email, ben@rawmotivations.com, whatever it's going to take to help you actually see how we move people forward and we move them quickly.